Most expensive mistakes ever made in history. Here's a list of some of the most expensive mistakes in history across various domains, showcasing how errors in judgment, planning, or execution can lead to massive financial and reputational losses. These mistakes demonstrate that errors, whether from poor planning, oversight, or mismanagement, can have catastrophic financial and societal consequences. The wrong trains in France. In 2014, France made headlines with one of the most expensive infrastructure mistakes in history when the state-owned railway company SNCF ordered 2,000 new trains at a cost of €15 billion, $20 billion, only to discover they were too wide for many of the country's train platforms. SNCF and the National Railway Infrastructure Operator, RFF, failed to account for the dimensions of older train stations when designing the new trains. While the trains fit modern platforms, they could not operate in nearly 1,300 older stations without costly modifications. To accommodate the wider trains, the French government had to spend an estimated €50 million, $68 million, modifying the platforms. This error was widely criticized as an example of poor planning and lack of communication between SNCF and RFF. The platform modifications added significant unexpected expenses to an already expensive train order. The mistake caused widespread embarrassment for the French government and railway companies, leading to scrutiny of their processes. This incident became a symbol of bureaucratic inefficiency, highlighting the importance of careful planning in large-scale infrastructure projects. This fiasco serves as a cautionary tale of how small oversights in planning can spiral into colossal financial losses. The new Coke Fiasco. The new Coke Fiasco of 1985 is widely regarded as one of the most famous and expensive marketing blunders in history. Coca-Cola's decision to reformulate its iconic soft drink sparked a public backlash that damaged the brand's reputation and cost the company millions. In the early 1980s, Coca-Cola faced intense competition from Pepsi, whose Pepsi Challenge marketing campaign showed that many consumers preferred the taste of Pepsi over Coca-Cola. In response, Coca-Cola reformulated its flagship drink to create a sweeter version, which was named New Coke. Despite positive results from taste tests, where consumers favored the new formula over both original Coke and Pepsi, the decision to replace the original Coca-Cola formula sparked outrage. Loyal Coke drinkers felt betrayed and outraged by the removal of the original formula, which many viewed as a cultural icon. Coca-Cola underestimated the emotional attachment people had to the brand and its history. The company ignored the strong sense of nostalgia and tradition associated with the original formula. Within 79 days, Coca-Cola brought back the original formula under the name Coca-Cola Classic due to overwhelming public demand. The swift reversal was seen as an acknowledgement of the mistake. The company reportedly lost $30 million on unsold new Coke inventory. Additional costs were incurred in rebranding and relaunching the original formula. The fiasco became a cautionary tale in marketing and business strategy, highlighting the risks of tampering with a beloved product. The new Coke debacle remains a textbook example of how even the most successful companies can stumble by failing to fully understand their customers' emotional connections to their products. Russia sells Alaska. The sale of Alaska by Russia to the United States in 1867 is often considered one of history's most expensive geopolitical mistakes. The deal, known as the Alaska Purchase, involved Russia selling the vast territory of Alaska to the U.S. for $7.2 million. Equivalent to about $150 million today. The U.S. purchased Alaska for $7.2 million, equivalent to about 2 cents per acre. The agreement was negotiated by U.S. Secretary of State William H. Seward, and the purchase was initially mocked as Seward's folly by critics who thought it was a waste of money. Alaska turned out to be rich in natural resources, including gold, oil, gas, timber, and fisheries. The Klondike Gold Rush in the late 19th century and the discovery of oil in the 20th century made Alaska an economic powerhouse. Alaska's location has significant geopolitical value, providing a strategic military position, especially during World War II and the Cold War. Russia effectively forfeited the massive wealth generated from Alaska's resources and its strategic advantages. At the time, Russia believed the sale was a smart move, as they saw little value in Alaska. However, in hindsight, the decision is often labeled a massive miscalculation, as Alaska became one of the most resource-rich territories in the world. The Alaska purchase remains a defining example of how short-term thinking can lead to long-term regrets. The sizzling skyscraper. The sizzling skyscraper refers to the infamous walkie-talkie building in London, officially known as 20 Fenchurch Street, which became notorious for a design flaw that caused it to reflect sunlight so intensely that it melted objects on the street below. This architectural blunder is considered one of the most bizarre and expensive mistakes in modern construction history. The walkie-talkie skyscraper, completed in 2014, features a concave, glass-covered facade that focuses sunlight like a magnifying glass. During sunny days, the building reflected light onto the street below, creating temperatures as high as 117 degrees Celsius (242 degrees Fahrenheit). The intense heat melted car parts, including a Jaguar side panels, warped bicycle seats, and damaged storefronts. To address the issue, the developers spent £10 million to install a sunshade system on the building, called a brise soleil. This fix involved attaching horizontal aluminum fins to diffuse the sunlight and reduce the reflections. The building was widely mocked in the media and earned nicknames like Walkie Scorchy. The incident highlighted a lack of foresight in architectural planning, which damaged the reputations of the developers and architects. Property owners and businesses affected by the heat demanded compensation for damages, further increasing the financial burden. The incident demonstrated how aesthetic-focused architecture can lead to practical problems if environmental factors aren't carefully considered. The Wobbly Millennium Bridge. The Wobbly Millennium Bridge in London is one of the most infamous engineering mistakes in modern history. Officially known as the London Millennium Footbridge, it was designed as a sleek, pedestrian-only bridge crossing the River Thames. However, it became notorious for its unexpected and extreme swaying motion when it opened in June 2000. The bridge opened on June 10, 2000, with large crowds eager to walk across the modern marvel. As people crossed, the bridge began to sway significantly, causing pedestrians to instinctively adjust their steps, which amplified the motion, a phenomenon known as synchronous lateral excitation. After just 2 days of operation, the bridge was closed to the public due to safety concerns, earning the nickname Wobbly Bridge. Fixing the problem involved installing dampers to reduce the oscillation, which added approximately £5 million, $6.3 million, to the original construction cost of £18.2 million, $23 million. The bridge remained closed for 2 years while engineers worked on the solution, causing embarrassment for the designers and the city. The incident undermined public confidence in the project and became a source of international mockery. The wobble was caused by a lack of consideration for how large crowds would move on the bridge. As pedestrians walked, their movements unintentionally synchronized, creating lateral forces that the bridge wasn't designed to handle.